Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the In Case You Missed It podcast. But just in case you missed it, we are here to bring you up to speed with everything and anything that has been happening in 254 and of course across the globe. I'm your host today. My name is Njambi Gaitho.
My name is Raymond Muthee.
My name is Molly Chebet.
And lazima ni mention this podcast is proudly brought to you by Gen Z.
Hallelujah. Kama haujui Gen Z anakaje, just
This
look
is-
at me.
these are the faces.
Ni sisi mwenye
The
tumengangana huko.
revolutionary.
Mandamano and other short stories.
Yes.
Mambo ni kama yepi.
Mambo ni kama yote. And I don't know, I'll just start by saying that it has never felt this good to be alive at such a time.
I'm telling you.
As in, we are taking over, we are doing things. Sasa hata mzazi akikwambia kwa simu na protest.
Unamwambia unangangana kutetea
I
your
am
rights.
trying to help you.
Natetea rights zetu na generation alpha.
Molly, are you live?
AKA
Uko live?
Brabango. Of course Niko live. So
This is what people are doing huko kwa maandamano that is making people look at
Ndio
us.
maana MPs wanasema nyinyi mlikuwa TikTok ku make videos. Anyway, speaking of that, let's just get right into it. Raymond, do you have something to say before we begin?
I think I am very proud of I call it an uprising kwa sababu it is one of those very rare things and one of the things I never expected that it would ever happen. Ati mtaenda kwa streets bila baba. Ati you'll go kwa streets and not be partisan. Ati you can go to the streets and we can't say this is UDA, this is Azimio. This is one of those revolutions inaka South Africa need. And I think there's everything to be proud about in this particular. Alafu there is no violence. I mean, hakuna looting, hakuna nini.
Hakuna kuwasha moto, hakuna mawe, hakuna.
Man, I think
it's
different. It's very different.
Every time you go online and see the videos, in case maybe you didn't make it to the protest, you feel proud. And the videos are just so beautiful because it's young people who are using their voices, who are using their energy. As in the things that we do online, tunazipeleka uko nje physically. And people now get to see who we are behind, the screens and behind everything. So it's a very beautiful movement. I'm just a very proud Gen Z at this moment.
Alafu pia the beauty of this whole thing, this whole revolution name, these people, yani sisi Gen Z, assemble only by the power of social media. No one told this one should come. No one said sijui. And it was so organized. These guys even had a dress code. Unaona vile hiyo ni noma. Alafu pia the fact that these people are, like, the courage that they exuded uko nje hata ilishtoa wazazi wetu. They were like, you guys are daring like
Ni
this.
nani hawa? Huyu ni nani na anaenda wapi?
Alafu pia another thing that made me like nikasikia poa ni no one gave them money. Hakuna mtu alikuwa hapo financially at sijui mimi. Alafu unajua it cut across ina diminish ile stereotype yenye ilikuanga kitambo ati majenzi wanakuwa hired during ma protest ati mnapatiwa mnaenda kupigana or something, could throw stones and everything. Yani, the people who were there, walikuwa wamengara, Selma rugged, Selma selfie-stick, wacha, crop top pale, and it was so nice.
It was a very beautiful
ilikuwa revolutionary.
thing to see.
Watoto wetu wataongea uzuri.
Watakuja
Sisi ndio
kuambiwa.
tutakuwa wazazi wao.
We'll do well. Anyway, that said, let's just jump right into it. So many things have been trending this week. So many things have been making headlines this week, and we've already started off with now the protest. And in case you missed it, a section of Kenyans, because of course not everybody is protesting and not everybody is against this bill.
Yes.
So a section of Kenyans are against the Finance Bill 2024, and they are calling for do not just amend, do away with the entire bill.
Reject it in totality.
They are rejecting the entire bill.
Why though? That's the question
let me
I've been
just-
asking since last night. Anyways.
That's the question. Why are they rejecting this bill?
Mm.
And this comes at a time where the president and some of the committee's members were the budget. They wali scrap off some of the proposals that they had made. Zenye Kenyans had already raised, wakasema zitawafanyia nini. So they already done away with those. So the question still remains, why do we want the entire bill to be done away with?
Why do you guys want the entire bill? Do you guys first of all want the entire bill to be done with?
Reject.
Yeah.
Finance.
Why?
Okay. Me, according to me, me naona, okay, someone said it's reject finance bill, not edit.
Not amend.
Reject. Juu mi naona most of the things zenye ziko hapo zenye zitapitishwa at some point hata kama kuna zenye watu wanasema ho zitatusaidia and everything, I guess the majority of the list will have a negative impact to our future na pia hata sahi. The fact that finance bill inaweza sababisha nini tuaje unemployment, watu wafutwe, si ndio? The fact that iko hiyo na already Kenya inapitia watu majenzi wako huku nje wako na madegree, they don't have a job, so like aje you guys are going to make a jobless country more jobless. Aje like such things, vitu kama hizo.
Mimi in my opinion,
I'd say bigger things.
I'd say Kenyans are already suffering as it is.
As it is currently.
Kona finance bill ya 2023 ilisha to drain. Ilisha like take away all the energy. That's why most of the people wako sahi, if we're already suffering sahi, what if sasa you bring on this new one? And also the other question is, why do we need to like every year we amend it, every year we amend it, every year we, as in what is it that we're trying to chase? You get?
Every
and
year
the fact that as in
amend.
there's a new bill that is presented and there are new changes. So kama housing levy will introduce 2023, there were other changes that were being made as much as they have been dropped. So the question is, why do we have to like kila mwaka hata mwezi jipanga now tunalipa housing levy, sawa, tumejipanga nayo. So next year, what else will we be paying for? You get?
Something bigger.
Yeah.
Toothpaste.
As in, we need first to jijenge sisi wenyewe. And then the other thing is, as much as we want to pay this debt, as much as we want to clear the loans and everything, how guaranteed are we that pesa itaenda kufanya hivyo? Because Kenya is a corrupt country.
True, yeah.
Our politicians are corrupt. So tuko na guarantee gani hii pesa inaenda kulipa na si wao wanaitaka for, because as it is we've seen reports about how they're using our money. So it's time we spoke out.
Sure.
I feel like the discussion has taken a turn kwa sababu in my opinion, because I've read the bill not extremely but extensively. Unaona hizo proposals zenye walitoa, they have said it will slash expenditure, the budgeted expenditure by around 200 billion in terms of revenue. So what that means is that if you are budgeting, for instance, if it was you in your salary, if you are budgeting for 5,000 shillings and your employer akwambia pana takulipa 3,500, that means your expenditure will reduce by 1,500. So I want to bring to your attention that some of the people who will take a hit in that drop will be TSC. Nakumbuka kulikuwa na issue ya kuhaya walimu. Intern teachers may not be confirmed as permanent. Come back to the Ministry of Health. They will take a hit. It means that some money that was supposed to be added to the interns, again, who are on the streets, will not be available. So that's the other side of this discussion. However, it is not to say that the bill should be, whatever proposals were put should be returned. My opinion, I'm of the opinion that the bill does not need to go down the drain in totality. Kwa sababu there was, by the way, you guys, people think public participation is a facade. It is not. Kwa sababu some of the things were considered altogether, even if people say it was a bite them and then puliza kwa Kikuyu, blow them kwa Kizungu, blow them. But my issue yangu ni hapo penye fine, we are bringing this discussion here. We need to make money. We need to. My biggest concern with the government is usually in the expenditure spending. Vile wana spend do. Miss Jai kuwa na issue ati collections, but I think hata mimi wewe na Molly, kama tungekuwa na, if for sure tungekuwa tunajua every shilling matters, none of us will have a problem with the way we are giving tax, the way we are being taxed. Kwa sababu in modern countries, people are taxed so heavily to the throat they can't even breathe, but they have working systems, they have working transport systems, hospital, free medical services. There's a friend of mine who I think went to a country, juzi tu akaniambia saizi huku daktari ni free, like completely free. Huku unalipa 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 just to go to hospital and get checked. So I think for me the conversation is around how is the money being spent, and that is why people have decided to stop it at the point of collection, not at the point of spending, because at the point of spending it is difficult to stop it. But again, like I said, the bill should not be rejected in totality. I disagree with those people who are saying the bill should be rejected in totality.
Okay.
What about Sasa? How can you explain Kenya has always been a corrupt country?
Yes.
Najua we always say, oh, every year something will change. The problem is, if this bill, hata kama itapitishwa, I feel like some of the money imeallocatiwa kwa vitu zenye. Kama, see, they were saying kuna hiyo story ya kurenovate ni ofisi ya president, ya State House. Like, to be honest,
some things are not priorities.
Alafu pia at the same time, some of that money, I feel like hiyo pesa itapotea. Someone will steal that money in one way or another.
That's why we said there's no accountability, and we are not guaranteed that this money that will be collected, as much as it is, that it do everything that they are promising or planning to do.
I have a question. You have seen kwa social media, there is this guy, this group, this hacking group, Anonymous. In a trend.
Hata ilikuwa kwa agenda,
muliona hata hizo the threats they were giving. Do you believe they're going to go through with it? Because they were saying they're going to expose the government, where this money
there
is
were
going.
Conditions. There were conditions. Their conditions were, if the government does not allow Kenyans to protest peacefully, then they will be forced to.
And they also told the government, do not amend. Reject it.
They want.
Unajua Anonymous, by the way, you guys, Anonymous is a 21-year-old group. It was in 2012. It was named one of the 100 most influential people in the world. So it is not something that should be ignored. It has done a lot of cyber attacks on government and institutions worldwide. So I think the government should be very worried on this one. Kama Cambridge Analytica could access our data and do whatever they did with the elections, the 2013, Anonymous is a walkover.
Yeah. So do you want the group to expose the government?
I'm just in it for the fun of it, to see what they can do with the data and what data we don't know.
If Kenyans already exposed their phone numbers to each other, and the damage that it has caused already. We were with an MP this morning, and his phone was ringing endlessly.
Through and through.
Like alikuwa naeka hivi it was ringing and ringing.
I know someone akona 19 numbers hapa tu. Akona 19 numbers ya wase. Hadi alikuwa na hadi yake stress akona namba yao.
All these numbers have been exposed. So I think me go to 50-50. As whatever do whatever you want to do with your life, but when it comes to matters my life and whatever affects me, that's where now we draw the line. So let's just continue, because we have so many things to talk about. Showing about how the numbers were leaked, and then there was a conversation yesterday in Parliament about the demonstrations. And some of the MPs have made some very outrageous comments. This woman
hey, tebu sema mimi kama advocate with Gen-Z nimeanza kukasirika.
A lady called Rachel Nyamai said that one of the ladies she pays school fees for
was in the demonstrations.
Na kamuuliza sasa mkate imeshushwa bei, your motor vehicle tax imeshusha
akasema
bei.
she's there for the views.
Ako like huyo dem ati akarespond akasema ati I'm only here to do TikTok videos, I'm only here to get more views on TikTok. And when we posted that video online, people were like, how dare she lie?
How dare she though?
Mbona anadanganya? Niko like mjaji anadanganya because alikuwa anasema ako na evidence ati she has already shared the conversation with her colleagues to see what this lady responded. But Gen Zs wako like, mbona anadanganya? That's a lie. Niko like,
Wait, hata kama hadanganyi ama hata kama anasema ukweli, the quickest way of getting this information to the world is through social media. Me, I really support anyone who was live. Hey, mtu yoyote mwenye alikuwa huko, alafu you cannot say ati sijui they are doing it for views. If it is views, people started getting views kitambo. There is something we call parasocial relationship, whereby people feel like they are they're supposed to do something. Like I'm talking about celebrities. Kama ni views, watu wamekuanga wakitafuta views from Brian Chira's burial. Watu wamekuwa wakitafuta views from Njambi's burial.
Yeah.
Anything. Hata saa hii unaweza kutoa nguo, someone will take a video
of you.
Yeah. You saw is sema they are doing this because of views.
There are so many other not to say but opportunities to get views.
And I feel like these MPs are just plainly ignorant.
Yeah, they're just
because hata some of them are on TikTok.
They are. Most of them wako hapo wakituambia sijui
Mbogi Genju.
You know,
no, they,
and okay.
Now na pretend ni kama they don't know how these things work. Ati lakini pia surely.
You cannot say ati the people were doing it for views. Yeah, najua vile huko ilikuwa risky. Kulikuwa na askari angekushika. Kulikuwa na tear gas na kuna wenye hata walishikwa.
Mimi na applaud wale MPs wenye wana they don't comment about the things they don't know.
Yeah.
We don't have to look stupid. You can just keep quiet and let it pass.
And you do not have to make you don't have to like stay relevant. I'm riding on the trend of kushinda kusema TikTok nini viewers. If you have no comment about Gen Z's protesting, then you might as well just sit down and
follow the discussion.
Yeah.
And changia where it is relevant. Kwa sababu pia some of the things that are being said, some lawmakers are making very serious presentations, but they are getting lost in the noise of these other people who are making atrocious comments and things.
Yeah.
So I think it's also the same thing with the finance bill. There's a lot of things kwa hiyo bill that actually deserve a conversation. Lakini we got lost in the
negative
in the noise and the shebang that people are talking about. Like sasa hiyo ya cancer, for instance. Even the chair of the finance committee has said, like hata mimi nilisoma hiyo bill na sijaona anywhere mambo ya cancer.
But now it was one of the things that people were really against.
I don't know if I read the wrong bill, but
yeah, okay. Speaking of MPs and everything, the good thing with Gen Zs is that they do not only call out the MPs. Wanna feel, we know that you're supposed to be working and you're not, or you are, by all means, that's okay, that's on you. We are calling you out, but we're also calling out celebrities who we've always looked up to, and they're doing nothing about this bill. So that's where the trend of cancel culture came in. And I don't know what you guys feel. Some of the celebrities who were cancelled, some of them felt like hatushindani. We're not in a competition. We are all, maybe some were against, some were for the bill, but this is not a competition. This is, you cannot make me do what you think I should be doing.
True.
Do you agree?
No, I agree. You cannot anyway. Alafu pia before to move on hiyo point flani yenye umesema hiyo mwisho ya views, yeah? You know, the thing is, I don't think she's supposed to say something like that, because hata wenye the lady who was there kwa hiyo maandamano, the place was so risky. You know me, I went and I felt like, don't think
niliona ukipanguza macho kwa video.
It was so risky for someone who is just there for views. Mtu mwenye yako hapo for views tu, hata yeye ajipendi na hata ingekuwa inge end up very fatally. So me, I think but then the thing is, this our leaders should just sit down na wenyewe tu wa highlight,
Wajiulize.
watu explainie vizuri, watu highlightie kenye ni mzuri na kenye tatufanya, yenye tatusaidia, because hata when we listen to the celebrities, you know, celebrities have their own opinion. Wenye wana support wanatrolliwa, wenye wanakubali hivyo. You see, it's becoming also weird. Someone needs to inform us.
No, Sasa, that's why last night on the show, and this is why I'm very sleepy here, because we left this place very late at night.
You look so sleepy.
I am very tired actually. Last night kwa show, we were discussing and saying we need more Gen Zs to come out. And we get si tu Gen Z kwange ni ile mbogia kutulia na kuongea. Ikuwe ni we have graduates who are economists, we have graduates who are lawyers.
They should just explain.
And they are fresh from school. Why not start off this conversation like the way we have, like today on the show, Debal alikuwa in the morning, alikuwa na professor forgotten the name, Professor Gituro. There was Bunyasi Sako. All these are learned people who have studied these things. It is not to say that Gen Zs cannot do the same kind of conversations if we decide to.
They are Gen Zs who are very learned.
And people are actually interested in this nation and seeing this nation get to. We could even, there is so much room for change. By 2027, mngeweza kuwa hata na political party nini. Have systems, have people sit and talk about things and have actually take part in the running of the country.
Na pia watu wachukue voters card. People
should some of the things that
were civic education nini.
And I also wish that more than the protest, let's just maybe at some point do away with the protest. But now this conversation has to continue to 2027 when you're making the decision, because we might get to a point we feel like sasa protest is imeisha, let's get to something else. And then by the time your time inafika, we've already felt our MPs tena sawa wamerudi kwa ground. They've already now started making us feel like babies again and pampering us here and there, but then we forget that whatever we wanted them to do then they didn't. So I think that this conversation should continue beyond this period, this finance bill period.
Yes.
But let's see how that goes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So away from the protests, other things have been trending as well. We lost, the country has lost actually very people, dear people. We've lost people who are influential. We've lost people who make actually a difference in the country.
In Kenya.
And people we've grown up watching
and listening to.
Yeah.
So we lost Njambi Koikai sometime last week. We also lost Fred Omondi this week. Njambi died from endometriosis. She was battling endometriosis. Fred died in an accident. So may their souls rest in it.
Forgotten veteran Makoha's wife. Her name is Purity Wamboi. She succumbed because of cancer. She had cancer.
Succumbed to cancer.
So because she was buried on June 1st, and then, she died on June 1st, and then Njambi died on around 2 week, and then Fred Omondi. It has been a very
hard week for us. For the entire country.
Wait, I have a question for you all. I am working on that article, and thank you for bringing that up. The thing I mentioned, parasocial relationship. Parasocial relationship is a situation whereby people feel like they are obligated to take part in your life, since they feel like they have a level of intimacy in your life. So like the way Nani Branchira died, and people were swamped. And some of them were there for views, and some of them were genuinely there. And then we saw the same thing happening for Njambi's burial, but for Njambi's burial it was almost chaotic.
I think she deserved it.
She did.
By far.
Yeah.
She did.
Yeah. Because you know what happened? Like while he played this reggae song, they were about to put Njambi
You were there?
Yeah.
Okay.
They were about to put Njambi in the ground, and then they played this reggae song, and people started singing the reggae song. And I understood because she was a reggae
to the core.
Yeah, and tukajua reggae music again and other things. So after that, when in fact people started becoming chaotic because the MC was like, you guys need to calm down. We want the mother to pass and the side ya burial hapo kwa hiyo grace and the body. And people were crowded. They were following the car, like literally, like you see how campaigns go, whereby people are literally next to the car. Hata unaona ni kama they picked up the flowers that were there, wakajigawia. So another flower, and then some were even smoking marijuana. And then they were like, we are doing it for Njambi. They even telling the pastor, you need to smoke some, kitu kama hiyo, I understand.
It was very rough.
For Rastafarians, we okay, I don't want to say we because I'm not a Rastafarian, but according to Rastafarians, marijuana is a holy plant. So to them it was a tribute to Njambi. But you see, to the rest of the visitors, the family, the friends, and then it became a whole thing. So the celebrities had to run to scamper to their phones, like Makoha lost. And you can imagine Makoha lost his phone and he had just buried his wife.
It's sad.
I saw that video he made.
Ilikuwa unfortunate. Nyi mnaonaje? What is your take?
In fact,
disrespect or
it was totally disrespectful if you ask me.
Because Larry Madowo was asked and he said, according to him, that is how they show their love in their unique way.
It's fine, but sasa unajua there's showing love, and then there's being insensitive. Why would you go to steal at a funeral?
Why would you create such chaos in front of the family?
In my opinion, I feel like, as in, Njambi was may her soul rest in peace, and she was a celebrity, and being a celebrity, she's known all over the world. Not only in Kenya, because we saw tributes from even other people outside Kenya. I feel like let's hold a memorial for her. Let people come, let them mourn, the best way they know how.
The memorial was
but then
calm.
When as in me, in my opinion, ingeishia tu hapo. Just come and mourn him.
Then when
you
it's
remember
time
how
to
Charles Oda
exactly.
was celebrated? You guys just come. Let's remember Njambi and everything that she has done.
Let's sing. Let's do
love her and show in the way that we know how. But then when it comes to burial, this is the last time you're having a physical relationship with this person who is you sending off. It's a very intimate moment for especially the friends and the family. So I feel like when it comes now to that point, watch our two family and the very close friends. If we really want to be there, we can do it virtually. Watch our stream to watch.
And even if it was physical, chaos ilikuwa necessary.
But
you can
you can't tame a crowd.
But I've been in burials. Now,
not in a burial.
In 2022, I was in a burial that was attended by so many people. Yani, a burial that was, yani hata ukiangalia if you can't, it looks like a rally, a political rally. But when it came to the moment you need to send off the person you're sending off, it was purely a family affair. And people respected it. I feel like hapa, it was difficult to control them because everybody felt like they own a piece of Njambi because just because I have dreadlocks and I smoke marijuana and I listen to reggae and I'm in green, yellow and red, I can come to the burial and I felt really bad. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe I didn't know Njambi. I never interacted with her, but that for me,
she deserved.
She deserved way better.
Yeah, because that was very chaotic. You see the videos whereby people are surrounding the near the hole, near the grave. Watu ni wengi paka hata mchanga ina spill ndani na hata.
And what was that thing they were doing, chasing celebrities wakienda kwa magari?
I know, that was something I was actually shocked about. Walikimbisha Butita
because again,
Tugush,
these people who are here for the burial, most of them are not even here to send Njambi. Most of them are here because they know Remado will be here. They know Akina Njugush will be here. All these people have been vocal online about Njambi and raising funds for her. These people will be here. So mi nakuja kuona mse napenda, I want to talk to Njugush nimwambie, you know, this skit that you did, you know.
And there's
So I
no
feel
problem
like
with that. Just
there's a
respect the
problem.
person
I feel
who's
like
who's
that was
resting.
not the place.
Exactly.
That's
Me,
not the place.
I don't have a problem with me going to a funeral because I actually want to see that's natural, that's human. But at least show some respect to whoever you're coming to bury. Si ati tena unafika huko unageuza agenda. You even go stealing and
that was wrong.
I guess Wakenya wako na hiyo tabia na it has been going on since Branchira's bio. You remember how people were swamped?
How many times have you gone for a conference because so and so will be there? But you don't go distracting the whole conference because your celebrity is there. You go do whatever everybody else is doing. When it's time for you to see your celebrity, you see them.
But it was unfortunate. it was so unfortunate because I felt for the family because I was imagining it's their time to send off their loved one, and they didn't even get a chance to get close. You could have like kama uliona hiyo video, you could have seen the video. The guy who was like supposed to, there was a guy in a suit amesimama hapo anamwagiliwa tu mchanga, yani I was like, guy akiwa
so sad. And
anyways,
what is more sad is the fact that after she was married, the dad died.
And the manner in which he passed.
But the dad, I don't know if this is the place to say it, but since I was at the memorial pier, I felt like the dad felt alisikia tu vibaya sana, like I don't want to say guilty, but he felt guilty.
He looked like he felt.
Not like he looked, he actually said sorry. The tribute yenyewe, and then he spoke of him being an absent dad, like he was never there even when Njambi, he was there at some point, but he didn't support Njambi as much as he wanted, you know,
or he would have,
because he was an ambassador.
By the way, and
he could have helped her financially or something, in my opinion, yani, because people after that, people were like, oh, you mean your dad was an ambassador and we changiad her all this time, you know?
I think I won't comment on the family matters beyond Njambi and the dad and whether he was absent or not. May he rest in peace and may the daughter rest in peace.
We move on regardless. Lakini hii story ya parasocial relationship, Wakenya wanafaa wawache. And I hope they won't do the same with Fredomondi's burial.
I hope
Jiko on 29th.
Unatushaambia Wakenya.
Ilishasemwa, it was already said. Ilishasemwa, alafu hata Wakenya are really looking forward to the burial. Leo ni Friday. Leo ndo kutakuwa na
leo ni Thursday actually, yeah.
Kesho kutakuwa na candle lighting per se, itakuwa a comedy, a last show ya Churchill. Actually Daniel Dambuki ndo alisema nini itakuwa on 29 the burial, but sasa leo kesho itakuwa candle lighting. Ilikuwa ikue jana but they cancelled it. I don't know, they didn't say but they cancelled it. So leo kesho ndio itakuwa huko Carnival Simba Saloon. They will have one last comedy show in respect. So kutakuwa na wakina nani comedians wa Churchill watakuwa huko.
Yeah, that's a good way to remember
to
him.
Tell him. Sasa the burial is on 29th. 29th June.
May their soul.
And I really hope the same situation won't happen again this time, because this thing is getting out of hand. Watu watulie.
Let people relax.
Yeah.
Yes. So much has been happening during the week. Is there anything else you guys want to add? Anything that has been trending? Ama maandamano take over.
So
Oh, we forgot to mention that, just in case you missed it. Akujakuwa na casualties mingi kwa hii maandamano, but there was one police who lost
his arm.
Yeah, we'll tackle. Ndio tunasema it was a very, I don't know, I felt really sorry for him, but Gen Z's, yeah, I feel like hapo tuliko insensitive, to be very honest. But it wasn't our I want to say it wasn't our fault that the hands exploded with the canister, but
But
I feel like the tweets and
it was
the
completely insensitive.
and the hate and they were insensitive.
Unajua, everybody speaks until it's their turn. Unaona, everybody who was bashing that police officer for throwing a canister, these people are trained. These people, this is their job. This is what they do. But I know sometimes it is unwarranted to when they beat protesters or when they chase protesters or when they throw tear gas canisters. In this particular case, how many tear gas canisters have been thrown since you were born? Right? What is so different about this canister that was being thrown? There's no reason to celebrate someone who lost their hands. It is completely, and I will say this, they can come at me. I don't mind. It is completely insensitive for someone to be celebrating someone else living without hands for the rest of their life. And mind you, they had taken an oath to devote their service, their industry and their health and mind and body to the service of this country. It is completely distasteful and insensitive.
Okay, can I say something about it? Yeah, again, so me, I don't know what to, I don't want to be, the one who is insensitive or anything. But me, when you were there during the protest, I felt like there were police officers who were on the police car, and the guy was just dispensing. I'll go to shoot, like shoot anywhere. Kuna time I was standing and the guy threw a canister right next to us, and it exploded. Yani we had to run. Ndio isijaribu kukuumiza. Leo there is a video that is trending. A police officer threw tear gas kwa super metro maze. Mi nimeona hiyo video.
These are the excesses that we are talking about. But it is not to mean that they all deserve to lose their fingers.
No, that was really unfortunate for the guy who lost his hands. That was so unfortunate. Hiyo tuseme ilikuwa bahati mbaya. But me, I am saying, na sasa na hiyo, the hate that people have. The hate people have is based on whatever they experienced there. How bad they felt, how bad they were like, sasa wa maskari mbona wanaturushia kweli easy tear gas and we are not doing anything.
Suppose the canister exploded in the hands of a civilian who was trying to throw it back. Sasa si unaona, everybody now will have geuza the whole story kuje.
But unajua I'm not even tearing the police or Kenyans. What I'm saying is whatever Kenyans did, honestly, to whatever they said
about the story
was
unfortunate.
It was not right.
But also it feels like at this point there's like a division. Hakuna ati United Kenyans. There's Kenyans and then there's police officers. Because honestly, hizi maandamano, as much as Kenyans wanasema we're also trying to fight for your rights, the police, they don't even act as if they are appreciative of the fact that kuna watu.
Yeah, that was too much force for something that was not so harmless.
What is so wrong with Kenyans just going out to protest and nyinyi mkuje muone if something goes wrong?
I think we need to invoke the section of the police, the Riot Act, that gives the police the powers to use such kind of things like tear gas and those water bowsers and whatnot. At what point are they allowed to do that?
Yeah.
And then maybe now we can have this discussion better, because who knows what was happening? Nobody's telling us what was happening to warrant the police officer throwing the canister.
But honestly, umeona hizi maandamano za hii time. Honestly,
no, Mrs. I'm going to be very honest.
I'm saying you interact with
I said, in fact, as we began the podcast, nilisema the maandamano zilikuwa different because there was no violence, there was no looting.
Yeah. So that's the point. As in, there's a very different kind of protesters this time. How wrong will it be, or how right will it be for you to just be there?
Alafu pia at the same time, the force that was being enforced there was not required. Ilikuwa excess. Wezi rusha ukweli kanista 4 literally kwa crowd of people, like ni uchungu, these guys are crying, kunaweza kuwa na stampede. People were running helter-skelter. The people who were in town plus the protesters.
So
imagine
the fact that police officers, this is not the first time they're like, let me just say fighting back.
Fighting, yeah.
Because we've always called out the police for brutality. We've called out police for harassment, and now this time, as in, honestly, how hard is it for you to just be there
and keep calm?
Yeah, if anything goes wrong, then at that point, by all means, take over and do whatever you want to do. But now, for now, as peaceful as these protests are, just hata wewe imagine hata unatetewa anyway.
Hata walibeba our media guy. They didn't care yani. Ulikuwa wakishoot juu walafu it comes
I think
down,
we also need to blame the police because they have used excessive force so many times that we even can't tell the difference between where they are when it's necessary and when it's not. Like baby Pendo, for instance. This other baby who died in a police cell, or so it is said. They have not even identified how the baby died or where they died. Hizi cases zote ndio zinafanya tunashindwa ku strike the balance between at what point is si unaona sasa the same crop of people who are uploading Ian Njoroge for
fighting the police.
Ama the ones who are against him fighting the police officer. The same people who are cheering this police officer.
Because we don't know where to draw the line between.
Exactly,
this
and
was
that's why
right
I think
and this was wrong.
I think we need to find that middle ground between. And there is even people. Sijui kama mmeona hiyo discussion ya the tear gas canisters that are being used as substandard. I mean, are we talking about? There's so many things to this discussion beyond even the police losing their fingers and whether they were warranted to use the canister or not. There are so many deeper issues. Is the police, for instance, underfunded? Do we need reforms in police so that even as they partake their duties, they are also because at the end of the day, hakuna mahali kwingine utaenda kureport kesi yako. If one day, what is the first thing you do ukiporwa simu hapa?
Police station.
Exactly. So I mean, there needs to be a middle ground kwa sababu hata kwa constitution inasema I think one policeman for not si kwa constitution when they do these researches wanasemanga one policeman is supposed to guard how many and then we have a shortfall of this one. Kwa nini, why is it so important? If the police kazi yao ni kutumia excessive, why then are they so important? Because the core mandate in social studies uko unasoma the core mandate is to maintain law and order. Period. So my discussion is police are not warranted to use excessive force, but it is difficult for us to know which situations warrant the use of such force.
Anyway, we say sorry.
Me and I feel wanafaa to read the mood.
But we just say sorry to the guy who lost his arms. Yeah. It was a very unfortunate
and we apologize on behalf of Gen Zs who said mean things.
Yeah, it was so uncalled for,
for
being distasteful.
The bottom line for me usually is it is usually fun and games until it's your turn.
It's true.
We are all human after all.
Seju walai ile kitu inge kugonga hata ikugonge ukikimbia hawezi baki.
But then I think that should maybe teach the police a lesson. Not I'm just saying that as in that should tell them something honestly. If you're not at you're
invincible.
Not to this protest and everything, things can also happen. So ukienda kutumia hiyo force mingi jua tu inaweza kurudia
juu Rosafi. You cannot say that there is someone who was beating people, there is someone who was throwing stones, nothing. The town was clean like this. Akukwa na anything. People just had placards and they really looked very nice. Yeah. Watu walikuwa nakani kama wanaenda sherehe or something. See, you saw Badi season. So like people look like they're just there to protest. Like in other countries you see people protesting even for their LGBTQ rights, people protesting for other rights, and it's usually very peaceful. Why can't we try it? We just try it. We give it a try. Watu tu watembe na placards waseme kenye wanasema iishe, as long as there is no vandalism.
Yes. And I think that marks the end of this long and rather interesting discussion. Please do tell us what stood out for you the most during this protest, and maybe what you'd like to see, the changes that you'd like to be made in the Finance Bill or in the Finance Act if it is passed. Tell us where you stand as a Kenyan. Do you support it? Do you oppose it? And why? Why do you, as in, ask me to reject Finance Bill, why are we rejecting it? But I think, ladies and gentlemen,
parting shot.
Yeah.
Parting shot yangu ni moja tu. Guys, usikatai, this is whatever we are doing right now. Sisi kama Gen Z Sisi kama Gen Z, it's very nice. This is a very good start. This shows that very soon we are going to get a very, vile tumezoea having a president that ni mzee. I guess this time we are going to change it. And and the only way we can change it, guys, wadau, si utiaji, si nini, go get a voter's card. If you want to make change, start by voting. You want to, all the time tunashinanga tumeambiwa, nini sijui, the leaders you elect today are the ones who will determine. It's true.
I have a lot to say about that.
You've seen it. And last elections, most of my friends didn't even vote. And I nilikuwa zile za okay, kama watu wako hivyo. But sasa saa ndio tunaona vile kina
utaamsha tu mtu aende kwa vote ati
it's coming back to bite us in the rear, in the rear behind. So guys, and then please just get a voter's card. Then we should kama I saw this guy Shadrack Kipruto. You saw this guy on Citizen when alikuwa anasema story, the message he has for the president. Such people, so we need such people, more of him. We move forward. Me, that's it.
My comment will be, it does not stop at getting a voter's card. It starts hapo kwa, in fact, hata kwa voting umeenda sana. Do we have leaders, Gen Z leaders, who are willing to stand up?
Yeah, like Shadrack.
And take the space fearlessly. Unajua, we are so used to being bulldozed around the place, even in our leadership positions and everything. Even in our corporate institutions like here, you find that there are a lot of setbacks, even as a Gen Z, when you're trying to introduce, for instance, a show or something. There is so many hurdles, but how many of this, what happens, I think, and why we end up with the leaders we have, is that we have corrupt leaders who are the most brave and will stand up and call out everybody else, and we'll look at them and say, maybe he's not as bad as we think. But we lack the goodwill and we lack the charisma of standing up and actually standing for our generation. So that's the same thing that happens with women and leadership. You find that the first people who are quick to vote for a man are the women who we are rallying to vote for a fellow woman. Like what happened to Martha Karua. You see, even in her own polling station, she could not be able to garner votes. Even the women we interviewed. See, tulikuwa tuna field interviews from all those places. I had not joined by then, but I used to see those interviews. And you ask women and say, tutaki huyo. Their own women. You see, conversations like but those. No, listen. Conversations, I know where you're going because we've had this conversation with you before. When we have someone who can step up, give these people direction, and actually, you see, we cannot say that all politicians are doomed. There's a lot of lessons you can pick from the politicians who are here and now, which is what many leaders are trying to do, mentor other people and whatnot. Pick what you can, change what you don't like, and stand up for yourself and your generation. It is as simple as that.
Sure.
Otherwise, me as a voter, if I'm not convinced, it doesn't matter who will elect a clown. Nobody. It doesn't matter if they're Gen Z or not. But if you are convinced, you will vote for whoever convinces you. And if whoever convinces you is someone who's done for politics for 40 years, owe unto your generation.
Yes. And okay, my parting shot would be, we are very proud of Gen Zs at this point. We are woke, we are learned, we are informed, we are brave. We do not look at tribes, we do not look at political parties, we do not look at gender.
Look at
those things, those are non-issues. What is right is always right to us. And that's a very good way to move forward. I hope and I really wish that this does not stop here. Let's continue pushing this agenda. Let's continue coming together. Niliona tweet ingine mtu anasema the next step is to liberate our parents from the tribalistic mentality.
Yeah.
We do not do that here. That's hiyo nilishapitwa na wakati. So this conversation that has already started, let's continue with it to the end, tumalita tufikisha, and I believe in few years to come this will be a very different country.
Yeah.
And I can't wait to witness that.
Yeah.
But until then,
Kwaheri.